Okay. Goodness me, guys. I'm so sorry. I've been trying so hard to get... Hang on. I've got to try and get the phone out of the sun because it's overheating. Hopefully, this might let us get something done. Crying out loud. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. As soon as that tip of the phone gets in the sun, it overheats. Okay. I don't know how much of anything you guys have seen or heard. I think I've had about 4 or 5 videos drop out now or overheat. So I don't know whether to go back to the start or not. I feel like I should be inside packing orders. I've been at it all week, actually more than that by the time I prepped it and had everything ready. But my body is not doing well. And quite a few of you on Instagram have said you need to rest, you need to look after yourself. Look, I know that. And thank you, I'm not having a go at you. I don't mean that at all. I just get really stressed that I want to get your orders out ASAP. But Willow's been protesting very dramatically the last couple of days. And today's the first lovely, warm, sunshiny day we've had in quite some time. So Willow and I have decided to just sit out here in the sun for a while and slow down and rest our bodies a bit and have a bit of a break. So if you're waiting on some treasures from me, they're coming, guys. And if any of you know me, you know that normally that's my main priority. But I've just had to step back and slow down a little bit. I'm not going to be able to get anything done because I'm starting to get sick, if that makes sense. So after hearing all that, I want to send a massive thank you to those of you who have sent quilting fabrics. I've received a couple of bundles, one from Kim in Queensland, and I'm sorry, I should have written your name down. Another lovely, lovely lady, that parcel was unexpected. She may have told me it was coming, but I didn't see the message. Absolutely so excited when it arrived. Now these parcels are getting passed on to Helen, who I'm in the Fire Brigade with. I took the first one from Kim on Tuesday night to hand to Helen, but Helen didn't turn up, which was quite unusual, and I started getting a bit worried. And I reached out to the captain and his wife and said, "Do you know where Helen is?" No. And I asked the president, no. I said, "Look, a couple of weeks ago, she very briefly in passing mentioned that if she disappeared suddenly, it may be because she's had to fly home to England because her dad wasn't well. So we can't find her. She's not answering her messages. So I'm assuming that's what's happened, unfortunately. But I just want to let you guys know that she will be getting the fabrics as soon as she's home and had time to settle back in. And, you know, she's going to need time to grieve and whatnot, I guess. I will be passing them on. They're here ready to go. I'm still going through mine. I keep finding more that I can gift them. I've got 2 boxes so far. That will probably nearly be it. I don't have a huge amount left. And what I do have left, I want to make myself. I've got a few quilting kits. My daughter's sending me photos and I can't look. That often means that they're out on a weekend adventure, her and her fiance. Sometimes they'll FaceTime me and take me on their adventure with them, which I enjoy. They took me to the beach one day in South Australia, and then you know what they do? Like, I'm in New South Wales and they live in South Australia now. And they do this thing which, the first time they did it, I was so overwhelmed. I mean, even now when they do it, it's awesome. What she said. Oh, they've gone to the Pink Lake. Okay. It looks like they may not have been able to get to it though. And I did tell them that I'd seen recently that the rangers were stopping people from getting near it. They could only do it aerially now. So I'll go and have a look later what she's sent me. But what they've done in the past, they'll FaceTime me, set me up in the car if she's driving. They can't do it if Liam's driving because he's on his L's. And you know, we chat as they're driving, and I can see the view out the front window of the car because she sets it on a phone stand. So they take me on their outings with them sometimes. And the last one they went to the beach near not near their home, it was an hour and a half or so drive away. And then we drove around the beach and had a look, and when they get out, they take the phone with me and show me what's happening. It's sort of a bit like I'm there with them on the phone, but I see what they can see, you know. And they got back in the car and they went to get fish and chips. So, and I didn't know this, they went in and ordered their fish and chips, but while they were ordering their fish and chips, my son-in-law got on and he ordered fish and chips for me to be delivered. So we all sat and ate fish and chips together. I thought that was amazing. They've done that a few times now, so yeah, that's very cool. Okay, so back to this. I've been trying to do the textiles all week. I don't know if you know, if I list something that I'm destashing. Willow's here with me. She's laying on the front lawn. I've just got to keep an eye on her if she jumps up and tries to take off. She's only got a slip lead on. What was I saying? Trying to get the textiles done. I clean the majority of them and press them and starch them before I post them. And then after I've posted them, I'm just going to move you guys out of the sun again so we don't lose the phone. Can you hear that aircraft? That sounds like... I didn't see it, but it sounds like one of Matt Hall's aircraft. They're stunt aircraft. They're very cool. He owns a hangar just across the lake here, like almost within stone's throw. So if he's out training on the weekend, we often get to see it. It's very cool. The sun's just stuck behind the cloud, which is lovely. I mean, I'm loving the sun, but you know. So I'm prattling now. Where was I? The textiles. So I upload them, photograph them, and then after you've all said what you'd like, I then go through and, you know, it took me 2 days this time to sort through everyone's and add it all up and do that sort of stuff. But then when I'm ready to pack them, I like to press them again. And if I come across any with any marks, I'll soak them again and gently hand wash them, dry them, press them again. So I've got some in now. There's a couple that had some marks on them. Every time I look at this, handful actually, every time I look at them it does my head in. I don't like to send them off unless they can be the best they can be, okay? So sometimes it slows down the process a bit. I apologise, but I want to make sure you guys are getting good products. I want to say exceptional products, but look, let's be real. I'm selling second-hand vintage products, so I'm doing the best I can. It then takes me days to cut the fabrics to size, press them again, fold them neatly, sort through who wants what, and then I try and wrap each item with care. A lot of the vintage stuff I try and wrap in archival tissue paper, so, you know, acid-free tissue paper. And then I try and make them pretty. So I'm at the point where I've still got some items in soak-in. Most of the other stuff I think has been cut, pressed, folded. It's ready to go. I just have to sort it into bundles. So it takes me a really long time, and I think I probably need to have more realistic goals for myself, because I often think that once my drop's finished, I can package it up and send it within 2 days. I can't. It takes me much longer than that. And I've also got to take into account, like this week, my mum had some errands she needed some help with. So by the time I helped her on Tuesday and went to the meeting Tuesday night, my whole Tuesday was gone. So I didn't get anything done that day. And then the last 2 days, Willow's been really unsettled. I'm not sure why. She's been up and down, in and out, hungry. She's been demanding food, demanding to go outside. We go outside, she wants to come inside. We come inside, she wants to go outside. And I don't have a secured yard, so I walk her out on a lead and stay out with her to make sure she doesn't get out. Or yesterday, the dog next door punched a fence paling off and grabbed her through the fence. So I've got to keep an eye on things like that. I've also found rotting bones thrown over the fence that I need to keep an eye on, and things like that. So if she needs to go out, it takes time, and it's slowing me down. So if any of you are watching that are waiting on stuff, this is something that I probably need to be more realistic about for myself first, and then for you guys. So, I mean, 99% of you are great. You all say take your time, which is lovely, and I appreciate that. But something in my brain tells me if I have someone say it's fine, take your time, my brain sort of switches into I've got plenty of time now, and I drag it out. So I don't let my brain acknowledge that you've got plenty of time comments or take your time comments, if that makes sense. Yeah, but then I'm too far at the other extreme now. I'm forcing myself to try and get them out ASAP, and I need to find that middle ground. So yeah, that's where I'm up to with the orders at the moment. Have I mentioned the fabrics? I have, haven't I? I've done so many videos today to try and get some information out there, and they've kept dropping out or overheating, so I've forgotten where I'm up to. I'm sure I've mentioned the quilting fabrics, haven't I? So we'll move on. On Tuesday, while I was out helping Mum with some errands, Willow, she's yelling out to him. It's funny because she's lying down, and it's more of a chat, I think, than having a go at them. I've just noticed one of the beanies I've been wearing. This is the first one I made myself with my own. I'm getting off track. So this wool here is a Forest Hill hand-dyed 100% Australian merino, and it was a crepe, and I hand-dyed that one. This one here is a silk, 100% silk that I hand-dyed. This is a Forest Hill hand-dyed yarn, but it wasn't a crepe. It's a beautiful, soft, beautiful wool, that one. And I can't remember the name of that colourway. That orange one's one of mine that I've hand-dyed. It's a Forest Hill, no, it's a yarn undyed base, merino, that one, the orange one. That's a Forest Hill, that's Cameo, that one, Cameo colourway from Forest Hill. That's one of my hand-dyed ones, that's one of mine. That's a silk blend, one of mine. The purple is one of mine. This is a mohair that I spun, that I love. I love these tail bits that come out. The grey is a Forest Hill hand-dyed yarn. The pink's one of my silk, 100% silk that I spun and dyed. The green it's got a glitter in it. I can't remember where that one comes from. This is years old, this beanie. That's a silk blend, the blue one I've done. That's one of my hand-dyed rainbows on a yarn undyed base. It's another silk. I can't remember. That's one of mine in the crown. So I don't like this pattern. This is the first one I ever made up. I don't like how this bulks up here. So I've designed it now that it decreases. But I make them slouchy. I like slouchies. And I've modified this band too. I do a twisted rib band. So I've got more, this has got no stretch anymore. So the one I do now sort of has more, it comes back in. But this poor thing, I wear this around the house in winter. I wear it when I go out in winter. Always get comments, always get people asking me where I got it from. I've noticed it's starting to felt a bit. And I've got a couple more that I've made last season that I wear now. They're a bit longer, a bit more slouchy. But the reason I started talking about this is because I went to move it off the other stuff I want to show you, and I've noticed it's got this band. Look how grubby that is. It needs another wash. But I noticed it's got bloody sauce or something on it. Look there. I don't know what that is. So she needs another wash. I took it off out here because it's so warm today. But it's amazing how much a beanie keeps your whole body warm when you're wearing it. So yeah, there's my poor old beanie that I wear everywhere in winter. Just having a drink of coffee. Oh, I should have brought that thing out to show Kathleen. I forgot. Gee, I'm a buffhead sometimes. Okay, coffee's finished. So, if you missed the first few videos that kept crashing and dying and carrying on, I didn't save them. So, when I was out on Tuesday helping Mum run some errands, I did pick up a couple of things. Now, the first thing I don't want to show because it's a little handmade pouch that I bought for my daughter. Paid bugger all for it from the op shop. But it's a cotton drill, not a heavyweight one. It's a lovely, I thought it was actually quilting cotton until I've got it out here. Beautifully handmade. It's about 17 centimetres deep and about, I don't want to show you because I don't want her to see it yet, 18 centimetres wide. It has a gusset, so it's got a side panel 10 centimetres across. So, and it's got the handles, it's just got short little handles. It all matches in beautifully, all these different fabrics. So the handles are only about 28 centimetres long, so it's just a little, a little pouch. And it's a bit bigger than the ones I used to make to cart my coffee cup to embroidery classes with. But it's got an extender. You can pull out the lining. It's got a pocket in it, which is beautifully made. And it's got an extender, another piece of cotton, it matches. It's not the same fabric. But it's about 14 centimetres deep and it has a drawstring. So you can sort of extend the length of the bag and pull the drawstring around the contents, or you can just tuck it in to the bag and it just looks like a different coloured lining. I love it. I've made some like this years ago, but yeah, the reason I bought it is because I thought my daughter would love that, and I paid bugger all for it, $1 maybe. So unfortunately I can't show you here yet because I don't want her to see it. And at the same shop, and this shop I had to call in to give some stuff to my cousin and she works there. I'm not sure if she's a supervisor, but she does some, it appears to be some sort of managerial role there. I don't think she's a manager. I don't think she's a supervisor, but she does quite a bit. And when I dropped them off, I noticed a couple of things. So that bag was one of them. These filet lace doilies, so they're different sizes, but I think they're made by the same person because it's the same pattern. They actually feel like they're different weights. So this one's a bit heavier. Got a lovely, look at that crocheted edge. I really like that. This one's got a stain on it, but that might come out with a soak. I haven't soaked them yet. Now the reason I picked these up is because I think they'll make great pockets in a needlebook, a vintage needlebook. So I've got another couple that I got from my cousin's. My other cousin owns a vintage shop. So I've got another couple that I picked up from her a while back. Oh, these ones might be the ones from Nairi. I bought a couple from Nairi as well. I've lost track. So I've got these ones. These ones are from Nairi, I think. So yeah, I picked these up for pockets in needlebooks. Okay, I just broke one of my quilt clips. Just crumbled in my fingers. Okay, back to, this is from a different second-hand shop. They didn't have much there. The lady in front of me had a basket full of linens, actually. And this place is sort of run in, run out. I didn't have a great amount of time to look. This is the only linen I could find. I only paid $1 for it, but I didn't notice that it has a hole in it and it has the crochet edges torn here. I could repair that. I could patch that. The stitching's not as great as I thought it was, but for $1, I was a bit disappointed. But anyway, there's that one. I picked up at my cousin's shop this teddy bear making kit. There's some, what do you call it, German mohair. I think, no, it looks more synthetic. When I got it out the other day, I thought it was mohair, but now I think it's a synthetic. Yeah, it's a synthetic, but it's still a nice teddy bear fabric. And there's a felt on the back, which I probably won't use because it just looks like a synthetic felt. So there's a bit of fur there. I don't often use these synthetics actually because I only make little bears and I haven't made any for years, but there's a new pattern in here. I don't have that pattern. There's some little glass eyes that I don't have. I used to just use beads because I couldn't afford these eyes. There's some hinges, some joint hinges. They'll probably be too big for the teddies that I do, but I'll still potentially use them. So I got that for a couple of dollars. And I got this 2 pieces of German mohair. I will use these. These 2 pieces, I'll get at least 4 or 5 bears out of each piece because I only do small bears. And then there's some paw pad fabrics there. So I was happy with that. I also got this beautiful linen tablecloth for a couple of dollars. Look at that. I often pick these up. I didn't look at it in the shop. I just saw it, picked it up and left pretty much. Paid for it and left. If I see these when I'm out, I'll often pick them up to pass them on to others, but that one might be good for a project I've got in mind. So I don't know yet. So that's all I've acquired in ages because I just haven't been able to get out. This is, my daughter sent me this. She picked this up at a second-hand shop in Adelaide. It feels like a poly cotton. I don't think it's cotton. It's a beautiful quality though. I can't remember if she sent, it's got a bit of a sheen too, which makes me think it's more of a poly cotton. I think she told me this to on sale, but I thought I'm not convinced it works yet. Don't know if it'll work in this needle book I'm putting together. Yeah, don't know, but that's an option to think about. What else was I don't really have anything new, guys. I've just been so focused on getting these textiles out and cleaned up and cut to size and all of that sort of stuff. Let me show you this though. One of the errands I had to do the other day was pick up some dog food from Bunnings, and at the door they have these little $2 potted colour, so I grabbed this. Look at it. Oh, let me get it in the shot. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? They're dark, dark, dark purple, so they pretty well look black. I don't even know if it's focusing. They're absolutely stunning. They're such cheerful, happy little guys, and I love the colour. I always said years ago I'd have an all black garden, all black flowers. There was a black daisy there. I didn't buy it because I didn't want to spend $10 on a daisy to put in the garden. But yeah, that beautiful. He's sitting here, smiling at me. You can't even see him. I tried to put him in the shot, but you can't see him. I apologise. So that's what I've turned up with. What else? Oh, I forgot. I did get something else at the second-hand shop. Where did I put it? One more thing. Where did I put that? I've got another thing from my cousin's shop. Where did I put it? I don't know. I picked up some gumnut yarn, some wool. I don't know where I put it. There's only 2 skeins. Oh, this is frustrating. They were $2 for the 2 skeins, which isn't bad at all, because when I unearthed my little stash recently, I googled to see how much they are now, because I thought I would buy some more colours, especially the variegated ones, to add to my stash. But they're $7, $8 each now, which is not surprising, really. They're beautiful. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm looking for those bloody gumnut yarns. They can't be too far. I had them here earlier before the video overheated and dropped out. They're not in there. They're not in that little pouch there. No. I've got a shelf underneath here, see? Where the heck did I put them? Oh, there's a drink in my bag. That's handy because I'm thirsty. Oh, how frustrating, guys. No, not in that pocket. Not in that pocket. Right, they must be up here still. Not there. Not there. When I actually end up finding them, you'll go, oh, is that all? Not that one. Must be in... There's nowhere else to look. Didn't put them in there. No. Well, I'm buggered if I know what I've done with them. They must have fallen down somewhere where I can't see. Well, that's frustrating. Can't see them anywhere. Okay, let's get back to this. As I was saying earlier, I haven't been doing much stitching. I haven't been doing any at all, actually, because I've been too focused on getting parcels done, which still aren't completed. So once again, I apologise to you guys waiting. I want to make sure they're pretty and clean and the best they can be before they get sent off to you. And with Madam being the way she is and me helping Mum the other day, it's taken me longer than I had hoped. But yes, as I'd also mentioned, I need to be more realistic with myself about how long it actually takes me, I think. I'm buggered if I know where that wool went. So yeah, let's get back to this. This is one that I'm working on. You would have seen this. I've shown it quite a few times now. This is my vintage cutter quilt. I think it was from America. This came from Beck at So Be. I absolutely love it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep this one for myself. I haven't kept any yet. It is basted at the moment, if you're wondering, these big stitches. I've just basted it all together to stitch it. I've stitched this blue all the way around to hold all the pieces together and finish off that edging neatly so it won't peel back and split and carry on. I've inserted this reclaimed crochet edge from a doily when we open it up. So I've stitched that all in one piece to make it nice and neat. When we open it up, inside it's lined with a vintage cotton napkin that's been hand embroidered, just a little detail here. matches some placemats that we'll get to. Now I bought these napkins. The cutter quilt I said come from Beckett Sobey. I'd like to try and get some more of those from her. I went in there a few weeks back, but she'd only had one piece left and it wasn't what I was after, so it didn't come home with me, and I've missed out on the ones online since, bugger. This lining is from my cousin's shop. Now her shop is called Former Glory Emporium and it's at West Wallsend. She's not online. She does have a Facebook page. I know some people will comment on the things she shares on Facebook and ask if they can buy them. I don't know if she mails packages. I don't think she does. I think it's in store only. I'm not sure. I'll have to check that. This lace here came off a vintage cot sheet. It's quite delicate. The cotton's starting to disintegrate a bit, but I've basted that in there for now, and once it's pieced together, that will turn, the front and the back will turn into pockets. Then I think, I'm not sure yet, I want to put this piece of lace. This came from my cousin's shop, Former Glory Emporium. And I'm not sure yet if I want to leave it like this, how I've cut around the edging, or trim it to size, cut it into a rectangle, and maybe put a bias edging on it. I think I'm going to more likely go with that, to be honest. And I do have, I don't know if this will work, but I have a piece of vintage bias that I want to use in something. And it's not in there, maybe it's in here. I've been coveting this for years. And if it's big enough, I'm thinking maybe I will do this binding around it. It's black, but I love the stripe and it's vintage, so that might go around there, maybe. Okay, next I've got, now I don't know how I'm going to pull this together yet. This came in the kit that I bought from Beck with the cutter quilt. I'd like to get it in there somehow. I don't know where or how yet. This also came in the kit from Beck. Needs to be pressed again. Sandwich tray cloth. Then I was putting this piece together as another, it needs to be shortened. It's a bit too wide. So I want that, maybe I think I have designed it to go this way. So this is another piece from my cousin's shop. I bought a few in a packet. So I'm thinking maybe that will be a page, and then line it with this linen, beautiful linen. I need to repair a bit of the lace there. So that's the thought so far with this. And then because I don't want to just chop these bits off. So potentially I can make this so I've got little pockets down here. So that could potentially be another page. This also came in the kit from Beck, I believe, from memory. So I'd like to try and get it in there somehow. Still haven't worked out how. Now I've cut this piece of vintage Sanderson from my stash, thinking I'd put it in, but I'm not convinced it works. I mean, next to this it will. And it's got the blue, I mean, it might be okay. So I was thinking I might put this in as a page. Then I'm sure I've got more doilies to get in here too. This is another one I've pulled that will potentially work in here. Not next to that though. I don't like that next to that. So then I've got another one of these, but I think I've got enough of these in this one for now. Then I've got this. Now, this is something I'm working on, obviously. That will fold down about there. So I'm just trying to fold it so you get a bit of the concept idea of what I've got in mind. So this piece I'm working on, I'm still not finished this, as you can see. I want to go around do this stitching around here. I've done all these layers of, there's a bit of vintage fabric from Beck, some Liberty, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's a bit of Betsy there, look at that, bit of Liberty. These are Mum and Son, this one, I believe, Mum and Son. So I've just canter stitched those pieces in that I really liked. I'm not at this stage happy with how this looks. I wanted to highlight this embroidery, which came from the doily that this edging came from. I feel putting all this around here, I've lost the birds. So what I'm starting to do is do this blue border around the embroidery to make it pop. So hopefully that will help and we'll see those birds again. They were on this branch, so it's not quite the same colour. You can see where it changes. I've continued the embroidered branch to the edge here. And then I've put this little bit of petite pan on the edge. I just want a bit peeking out the top here. And then I'm going to put in a zipper. Okay, and this is going to be a zippered pouch that I'm going to set into this needle book. I'm spending so much time on this, it's crazy. So I think I have a few more linen pieces I want to fit in here, but I'm not sure how to do it yet, and I haven't pulled them either. I've also got, this is the other half of the doily, so I'm thinking I wouldn't mind trying to get that in somehow as well. I'm not sure yet, or should I just keep that for another project? Okay, so I don't want the pouch in the centre either. I want it in the back half. So I haven't worked out yet what else I'm going to put in. And then, yeah, I'm still not sure about this vintage Sanderson, whether that's going to work as a page. And of course, as I said, I think it does look good next to that. Oh, you bugger. Doesn't look too bad next to that, I think. So that might be an option. Then we've got this linen with the pockets. I think I need more pockets and pouches and things too. Then when you open this page, we've got this beautiful embroidery. This has all been done by hand. Maybe I could stick so I was going to put that linen liner in there, okay, but you can't see all this cut work, so potentially I could stick something in there, like, I'm just going to grab something random just to try and show you what I'm thinking. I don't have, oh bugger, I just dropped my cotton. I don't have a lot out here, so bear with me. So I'm thinking I can stick something in there that's contrasting. Come back here, you bug. To make that that cutwork pop. So that's not the right colour, but put something in behind there before I line it, just to make that cutwork pop. It needs to be a brighter colour, but you get the idea. And then of course, and I don't know where this is going to go yet, the sandwich tray cloth. I've also got this piece that I thought would work in here. See, that when I look at the rest of the book as a whole, that's when I don't think the Sanderson works. I'm just not convinced yet. Then we go the lace. And then the back inside cover. I want to put something else in here. I don't know what, maybe a flap, maybe some, I don't know. I just feel that this back page needs more. And there, that's that one. I've also got, this is from my cousins. I thought I'd try and integrate this this is a little pouch, probably a compact pouch. So that could potentially go as a little page or a pocket or something. So yeah, there's that's that one. And I know I've shown you guys these so many times, but I think potentially, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm just looking for ideas from you guys on what I can add or how I can change it or how I can move forward, because I'm a bit stuck. And look, honestly, I get stuck on everything I make. I overthink it. I'm a perfectionist, and sometimes I just need to jump, you know. Most of the time I do, because I overthink it. This fell out of my bag. This is the DMC that I'm winding on here that came with another needlebook kit I got from Beck at Sobe, and that would be this one. That's this vintage silk. So just bear with me while I wind this up, because I don't want it to get grubby and I don't want it to get tangled. I'm just winding it onto this vintage spool because normally I keep them in the skein and pull it off the end of the skein as I'm using it, but this one got all tangled up, so I'm winding it on here to keep it nice and orderly. I went out and bought another skein of this because I thought I was going to run out. I've still got a lot of stitching to do in this needle book. So I went over to Thorpe's a few weeks ago and matched the colour. I had lost the colour code off here. I'm usually really careful with keeping them. If I wind them onto a thread card, I tie the colour tab on the thread card, so when I run out I can just go and replace it. But because I'd lost this while I often take projects when I've got appointments, or if I have to take Mum for some errands or whatnot, so I can stitch while I'm waiting. And I actually lost it